So this one is simpler actually than the last one, and it's not that many reactions from the opponents. It's mostly you laying on with different types of attacks. So this is going to be quicker for us to learn. But it's a nice one because it's pretty powerful and pretty fast. So you can really practice your skill and your ability to take initiative with this one. That's why I like it. So I'll read the whole thing to you, and then we'll start working on the different segments. In the onset, when you come into the day or high guard, and the high guard in Joachim Meyer is this one above our head that we used in the beginning. Let your blade drop before you as before toward your left side. Pull it around your head and step and deliver a horizontal middle cut with the long edge against his left at his neck or temple. Now this is pretty interesting because it says a middle cut with the long edge, and you don't see that in the early sources. But a middle cut with the long edge is basically cutting straight across like that. And even though it says middle, he only means that you're cutting on a horizontal line. It doesn't mean the middle of the body. Because most of the attacks in Joachim Meyer's manuscript goes towards the head. He does a lot of times say you should strike the nearest opening, which could be body or leg as well. But most of the times he wants you to cut around this part. Even when you make a cut from below, it doesn't have to be to the lower opening. It can be you cut from below but towards his cheeks. And the reason for that might very well be that one, these are the killing targets usually, but also in effectual or competitive play in Germany they often fall only to the head to show skill, but also because it was an easy way to mark who won, because the one who was bleeding from the head he had lost. So then it makes more sense to always try to strike the head. But he uses the middle cut, and that's something you don't see that much in the early sources. So drop the sword, pull it around your head, deliver horizontal middle cut with the long edge against his left and his neck or temple. That's up here. As soon as this connects, then pull back around your head and deliver another middle cut across from your left against his right. So you make one strike and then you make another strike opposite of mirror. Also at his neck. As soon as it clashes, then thirdly cut a high stroke with the long edge straight from above. And these three cuts must happen quickly in a single motion, one after another. Basically, it's pretty similar to what we did when we warmed up, when we let the blade fly off immediately to the next cut. And this time we're going to actually make it connect as quickly as possible. Then, if you should have more space to work, raise your palm up toward your left, pull around your head, and take out his blade with the flat or short edge by your left from below through his right toward your right by slashing upward, so that your blade flies back around in the air and cut with the short edge down from above, which crossed hands by his right tail without hitting. He's very wordy, he wants you to hit him from above with the short edge. Though if you can reach him, cut with the short edge down from above with crossed hands by his right ear without hitting, though if you can reach him with the short edge in running past, then it. Then deliver a strong right cut at his left side and then cut away from it. This is indeed quite a serious and strong device that no one will be able to ward off once you have it before, that is, once you have the initiative. So that's a pretty bold statement. It says that if you start engaging with this device, no one will be able to attack you or counter you as long as you maintain initiative. So let's try and see if that is true. There's a lot of words to it every time. Sometimes I wonder if he got paid by the page. But he also says that almost every device that you make with all these long cuts, you can make the same device with 2 or 3 cuts. You simplify it, and that's probably what often happens when the reaction comes. Okay, so the first segment of it is the 3 cuts: horizontal middle strike on the other side, and stepping out with the cut stretch from above. So if you put on the mask, Christian. All the coach does now really is to go and parry. That's all he's going to do throughout this exercise. So I start high in day, like that. I let my sword drop off to my left side. Basically I'm doing a moulinet to generate force. So I drop to my left, and then I step in the middle cut towards his temple. 1. When it clashes, I do this exact same thing, but to my left. 2, and then immediately straight up towards his top of his head, like that. And this says must happen quickly, as if in one long motion. So again, and up, and that's it. One more time, horizontal from your right, let the sword drop to your left to get force, pull around, right, left, and not from above, not from below, but straight in the middle, aim for the temple, and then immediately straight above, up, down vertically, like that, and then up. Let's start with that. The combination is pretty simple. What I want you to practice on is to make it into one continuous motion, so some energy in that. 1, 2, 3, up. Like that. Start high, drop, 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Let's work with that.
So you are studying back right way.
Sorry, what?
You are, you say that are we supposed to do midway
I can
so the meter stroke.
Yes.
Do you strike them through or do you strike them back?
You strike them hard enough to make sure that you parry.
Yes.
But I would advise to try to strike pretty powerfully as well. Because the harder you strike, the more you have to parry, the bigger you open is going to be on that side. So it's a way of overloading the shots. So you get the impression it's a very powerful attack with all its long edge cuts. And he talks about how the fact that this is a serious device that it would be hard to counter if you really have the proper initiative. I think in the next sequence we sort of understand why, because the next part is pretty complex to pull off because it takes some time, and I think the only way you can do it is if you have really laid on to him in the beginning so that he's really on the defensive. Because now my opponent will parry the third cut. And when he does that, I will leave the bind and strike away, make a big circle and strike away his blade with the short edge, and then continue to attack him. It's going to look like this. I'm going to start out with the first 3 attacks, as usual, but when I make the last attack towards his head, Christian will parry that with the sword in front of his body like this. So, first one, get speed, 1, 2, 3. Now he says, lift up your sword and let it come from below, from his right, and strike away his blade with the short edge of the flat. So basically he wants me from this position to leave the bind and strike it away, then come in with a short edge cut like that, and then a long cut again, and then move out. And that motion of from the third cut which he has carried all the way down, that's a pretty big motion. You come in and make the next one. I assume that it only works if you have a really hard instrument. It's basically just going to do the oh shit thing with the sword in front of his face. And that's why it works to lay on so strongly on it from the beginning. Okay, so the whole device from the start, high guard, drop to your left, high, up, short edge, and this is the cut that we've always finished with at the beginning. And from the short edge you step again and make a right, down, cut, and then out. And this part, I guess, is the tricky one after the third cut. Straight to the front, move the blade away, and strike either with the flat or your own shoulder. So you can strike with the flat or your shoulder. So you strike the sword away, come in with a short edge cut with crossed hands, hit him on his right ear, let's say, do it, then step out, straight across the face again from the right.